Okay, we got several people on the line. Today we're going to talk about the annual fund, kicking off the matching points campaign. I've been getting a lot of questions about that, and we want, and by we I mean your district leaders, we want you to know that the club is the primary source, and we're here to help you. And so all the things we've been doing this year is to reinforce the fact that the club is where it's at. You guys are autonomous. We're here to support you in whatever you decide to do. So for Foundation Month, we will do matching points. It'll only be during the month of November because we want to promote giving to the Rotary Foundation. We'd like to see more people become Paul Harris Society members, which are folks that pledge to give $1,000 a year to the Rotary Foundation, because Rotarians believe in service above self. The way we serve our communities is by giving of our time, but also of our finances, so that we can do more projects locally in our communities. And the way we do that is by giving to the annual fund. So I am serving as your annual fund subcommittee chair again this year. I think I know what I'm doing this year. Last year I was learning on the job, but I had a great time, and I got to know so many Rotarians in our district because of that. So I really appreciate the opportunity to do it again this year. The matching points, Joe and I talked after our President's Forum last Tuesday, and we just felt like maybe we weren't really clear on that. So we wanted to have the presidents and the foundation folks on this call today, and it really is an open forum. So Joe, would you mind telling them the criteria for this year's matching points program?
We've done again this year is match dollar for dollar up to a $5,000 contribution. So that would earn you 5,000 points in your personal fund, your account. But those funds, that additional point fund, cannot be used personally. So if you made, for instance, you make $1,000 donation, and we're all aware of this, you get 1,000 points from the district. Those 1,000 points have to be donated to someone other than yourself. But we are going to match it up to 5,000. I threw out a number early on that we would go, and whatever the donation would be, we would give you 100 points. That's a little bit trite, and I want to go ahead and go with last year's dollar. I like the idea. I hope that will increase or try to stimulate some more giving.
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
That's the ceiling. What is the floor? Before it's been up, you start with 100 and you go up to that. Is that?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And
there is no ceiling. Other than if you want to give $10,000, you're going to get 5,000 in points, in matching points.
Okay, thank you.
We will stop, that ceiling will stop with the matching points. But of course, we'll take major donor gifts anytime.
So matching points is for Paul Harris Fellow recognition. And in order to be a Paul Harris Fellow, it's a minimum of $1,000. And when we do a matching points campaign, it's to help those Rotarians who maybe have not caught the vision of giving to the foundation, to encourage them. You know, if you're a bargain shopper, you become a Paul Harris Fellow at 50%. So if you give $500, one of your major donors or fellow Rotarians will donate 500 of their points to encourage your Paul Harris Fellow recognition. And so that's why the foundation, the Rotary Foundation's minimum is 100 if you ever want to transfer points to anyone for any reason at any time of the year. And so when we do matching points, it's to help build those Paul Harris Foundation, or the Paul Harris Fellow recognition for our members who have not achieved that status, or the Paul Harris Fellow recognition is +1, +2, +3, all the way up to +8, because at $10,000 given to the Rotary Foundation, you become a major donor. Major donor recognition is for actual dollars given to the Rotary Foundation. So if I gave over a period of, say, 10 years, if I gave $5,000, and 5,000 points had been awarded to me over the years, I will be considered a Paul Harris +8, which is the maximum Paul Harris Fellow recognition level. However, I've only given 5,000 actual dollars. I'm not considered a major donor
Right.
until I have given $10,000. So the eligibility for Paul Harris Fellow matching points, if you're in that situation, like say the one I outlined for myself, which is fictional, I haven't given that much yet, but if that were the case, I would not receive any more matching points because I've received the maximum matching points. So that's why if you were to give $5,000 at one time and somebody donated 5,000 points, you would be a Paul Harris Fellow +8. And then every dollar you give after that would not be matched because you've reached the maximum. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yes, and we have encountered that in that the major donor status, Jennifer, as you're properly pointing out, is for the dollars donated. It does not include matching points. And that has been confusing, but I've explained that to our club. We just had a major donor that had to make a cash donation to get to the major donor part because it's only the cash to get to that point.
Right. So I'm going to share my screen with you of a document. Okay. Am I moving the document that you can see? Or are you seeing my whole, I think you're seeing, anyway, there's a document here called Understanding Foundation Recognition Points, and it goes into detail.
I don't see it.
You don't see it.
We see your screen, but we don't see your.
Okay, let me try that again. Share screen. Sorry, I tried to have everything. Oh, I see what I did wrong. You're actually going to see my whole screen here, but I'm going to show you. Can you see the top page?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Recognize how to, all of the questions that I get throughout the year about matching points. There's a document. Can a deceased person become a Paul Harris Fellow? You know, I've gotten those questions before. I'm going to email you my folder of everything to do with foundation and the annual fund, Paul Harris Society, all of those things. There are grant options in response to COVID-19. I'm going to send that to you too, so you see it. Foundation shares, do you guys have this book?
No, do not.
No,
Okay.
do not.
I will send that to you as well. And then one thing I want to show you, I've just discovered, I have not investigated it fully, but right here on Rotary.org, under the Foundation tab, is a thing called Raise for Rotary. And it looks like you can start raising funds with a digital platform. And like I said, I have not really researched this. I'm going to assume that the fundraiser does not fund the annual fund, but goes directly to whatever you pick. So like you can pick the World Fund or Disaster Response Fund or the Polio Fund. But anyway, that's something I'd like for you to take a look at and see if that's something that would help your club do some sort of.
Where is, that's on Rotary.org?
It's on Rotary.org. And if you click under the Foundation tab or club, well, that's not where it was. I've been having issues. I don't know if anybody else has been having issues with the Rotary website flaking out.
Yeah, it's the day.
Agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have heard that you need to either empty your cache or delete your cookies with the new update. Terry, Harvey, are you still on the call? Is that true? Do you know?
It would make sense. I know that's how often things work smoother in DACDB, web-based programs in common.
Okay. So over here, Foundation reports, as the Club Foundation chairman, you have access to foundation reports, and you can save them. See, I put a purple star. This is my personal donor history report, and everybody has access to their own. And then you have club reports, and then I have district reports, but you can save those as favorites so that when you need to go look at that, you can. All right, did I stop sharing? Yes, I did. Okay, oh, there's my daughter in the background. On DACTB, Terry, can you talk with them and maybe share your screen if you have it up on how to do the TRF transmission form? Because I get, do you know what I'm talking about? TRF transmittal form?
Yeah, I know where to find the form.
Uh-huh.
I'm well versed in sharing my screen.
Oh, okay.
And if that's possible, that
I
would
think if you go to the bottom of your Zoom, there's a green thing that says share screen, and you should be able to do it. But while you're looking at that, I wanted to let you guys know, all you have to do is click a few buttons, and that form on DACTB will populate everyone in your club with their ID number, which is what I need to match points. And then you can email that to me rather than sending me a spreadsheet or handwritten papers. Then I don't have to go back through DACTB and verify the member ID number.
Jennifer, do you prefer that then instead of the RI on the Rotary site has the multiple donor form?
Yeah.
Which does the same thing. It pre-populates all the information for those club members you select. Used to, it's been broken for a while. I hope they fixed it. But
yeah, either one of those is fine.
either one, okay.
Yeah. I get a lot of handwritten things, and my first go around with this, I had clubs that would send me an email copy of what they mailed me. And then I had to go through and verify that I wasn't giving somebody double because they had sent me two things. So like I said, it was a learning process for me trying to verify all of that information. But we have some great donors out there who love to share their points. And we have clubs that, because they shared points with their club members, became 100% Paul Harris clubs. Like my Crawfordsville club, we did that for our 100th anniversary. We became a Paul Harris Fellow recognized club. But I'll send you my file of all kinds of information. And if it's helpful, we can do these quick little Zooms. If you can ask questions, sometimes email gets buried and you mean to get back to them. And then you weeks gone by and you're like, gosh, I forgot to email them back. Do you guys have any questions for me or for our district governor?
So yeah, one little, just make sure I understand. So if I give $100, it's me designating who I want the points to go to from the district?
No. If you give $100, I mean, you can do that, yes. But for the matching points, the foundation chair is supposed to, I can't match a point if you don't give it to me. So if you just send it off to the Rotary Foundation and don't send a receipt to me, like if you do it online, they'll email you a receipt. The important things are the $100 is the minimum, $5,000 is the maximum for the match.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
I think I was mishearing how it was for someone else, not necessarily for the member themselves. Okay.
Right. So going forward, once you've received those recognition points, and you can see how many you have at the foundation report that I showed you a minute ago, where I had those little purple stars, that report will tell you, or your foundation chair or the club president can see the club summary report. And I can generate it too if you want me to email that to you for your club. It'll show you who has points available to donate.
Jennifer, we had a good question Tuesday night with our President's Forum. Michael Nance there with Ken's Club in Lebanon would like to recognize a deputy sheriff that lost his life as a Paul Harris Fellow. And he was questioning how that could happen. And we indicated that you have club recognition points, as we all know are accumulating, for various reasons. And in Lebanon's case, I sent him an email after the meeting. They had over 27,000 unused points.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going to the board and asked if he couldn't transfer $1,000 and make this young man posthumously a Paul Harris Fellow. Great
Okay.
recognition, great, not publicity, but a great item for the community to see that Rotary does support the community. But again, those club recognition points are in addition to those personal points that are sitting there.
And to get club recognition points is by the club giving to the annual fund. So if your club itself wants to give to the Rotary Foundation, if they give it to the annual fund, you get points in your club account. The club president's the only one who can disperse the club points.
Sign for it anyway.
Hmm?
Sign for it. I fill out the form. They sign
Right.
it.
Right, that's right.
Jennifer, I
Yeah.
can share my screen if you'd like, although I don't know if that's really where we're.
Yeah, if you could
Sure,
show them
sure,
where
that-
that is, because it took me a while to find it on DACDB. But, you know, like they said,
That's
forget-
for one person, right?
no,
And
they
don't
can
we
do the
really-
whole club. But as Mike was saying, you can also do it on Rotary.org multiple donor form. It'll automatically populate
Right.
the member ID number. And that's
Okay,
the
well-
important thing for me. So that I can match those points. So Terry's showing us her screen on DACDB. And you see where the caret or the finger is pointing to the Rotary Foundation transmittal. If you were to click that, Terry, it shows you all the people who are going to receive the email if you send it. But if you scroll down a little bit farther, okay, and if you click on the Rotary Foundation transmittal, I can't talk this afternoon. There should be a form that pops up, and because Terry's doing it, she might get the whole district, I don't know, or maybe just her club. Oh, she
Carmel.
selected the Carmel Club.
Actually, get that because I have to, that's one of my IDs. That's my staff ID.
Mm-hmm.
It was set at the time that I joined. A employee, our district governor was from Carmel.
Okay.
So I
Even
became
if you
associated.
click Carmel and you populate the form, it's not going to have any dollar amounts. It's just going to have
Okay,
the
that's a-
members' names. And so she clicked on the view. This is not going to email anybody. But see how it's got the ID and the member name, and you could put the dollar amount in there. So anyway, I just wanted you to see that's a possibility as well. So in the past, annual fund chairs have asked to have checks mailed to them. And because of COVID, if we mail checks to the foundation, it's not going to be a rapid turnaround. And so my recommendation would be to give online using your Rotary ID number. Terry, you can stop sharing your screen and then we can,
Do you still see it? I paused it.
yeah,
Okay.
we still see it. Okay. So I don't want to receive checks, and I don't want to see or receive a photocopy of somebody's check. I used to be a bank branch manager, and you're giving me all of their banking information through the mail, and it's not secure. So I would rather see the receipt either emailed to me or mailed to me that the foundation has received it. I know of at least one club that does matching points, and then they send documentation to me to match the points. So it's like the club plus the district, and they've got like a triple match. Are there any other clubs out there that do that? That are on right now?
On occasion, Shelbyville does, but not
Okay.
this time.
Okay. That's caused some confusion in the past when a member contacted me about, well, how come I didn't get triple points? And so if you as the foundation chair get a call from me, it's just because I don't know what to tell them. So I was trying to think what else. Oh yeah, don't send a check to me. I just need the verification so that I can put together the paperwork that goes to the foundation to match the points. I don't need to see
Yeah.
the money. I just need the proof. And
Get a
this
copy of our,
foundation, pardon me?
is a copy of the multi form okay? Because that's
Yes.
usually what I do.
Yes.
That's what I do. That's what
Yes.
I do.
And
I
what is
love
the
that.
deadline? And what is
Yeah.
the deadline?
Deadline, it needs to be, the gift needs to be given, if they do it online, dated November 30th. So from
What's the
now
deadline
until
to
November.
you? The
Hmm?
copy to you. What's the deadline and copy to you?
I give you extra time. No, it's as long as I can get it to the foundation before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woody, you have a question?
Yes, I had a question. I think some of it has been answered. I just wanted, because I got on a little late, what's the start date and the end date?
So it's
For the
just for the
matching?
month of November, but you can start giving now. There's lots of ways to give to the foundation, and I've got a file that I keep little like handy information things in that I'm going to email to all of our foundation chairs.
Mm-hmm.
So that they have that. But the match will run from now until the end of November, but we want the clubs to announce it in their clubs.
Right. And the other question, I guess it's up to minimum of $100 and up to $5,000 will be
Yes.
matched
Yes.
by the district. Okay. And did I understand you right that that who stopped matching points after you get I guess 10,000? You go.
Right. So with Paul Harris Fellow recognition, you go all the way up to Paul Harris Fellow plus 8, which is $9,999. And then after that, it's major donor for $10,000. But major donor status is dollars only. It's not
Right.
a recognition of the points.
Right.
So if I were considered a Paul Harris Fellow plus 8 and I gave $5,000, I'm not going to get any more points because I'm at the maximum level.
Right.
Did that answer your question?
No, I mean, okay, for instance, like, and I haven't checked, I mean, I very rarely check my points, but I'm a major donor. So are you saying that I don't get points anymore for donations?
You do not get points because you're already the major donor status, but what it means is that we might be calling you to see if you would like to donate some of your points for the people that are trying to build their Paul Harris Fellow recognition level.
And Jennifer, wouldn't Woody receive points on his donation?
He will receive points, yes.
Yes,
Thank you
but
for
not
that
magic
clarification.
points,
You
yes.
will continue to receive
Right.
points, but for the matching points campaign, you won't be awarded any matching points, but you will continue to accumulate points for every dollar given, yes.
And it's important to remember too that there are multiple levels of major donor. It doesn't
Yes.
stop at 10,000. We have some members of our club that are proceeding up the levels of major donor.
That's right. And then there's the Arch Clump Society
Yes.
and the Bequest Society. If you have members that are looking to direct their funds after their, in their will, contact our district governor. We can get you in touch with the Rotary Foundation so that that will is worded specifically so that their wishes are followed with the Rotary language. Because if we were to change the name, like when we eradicate polio, and if someone had passed away and wanted all of their annuity fund that they had to go to polio, but we weren't raising money for that anymore, we want to make sure that the gift that they wanted to give goes where they wanted to go.
I apologize, Jennifer. I have to leave for a prearranged 4
That's all
o'clock
right.
meeting, but thank you very much for doing
You're
this.
welcome. Thank you for being on the call.
Thank you, everyone.
Any other questions today?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
It's related to Paul Harris Fellow.
Yeah.
We have a new Paul Harris Fellow member that was
Yay.
July, but she has never received any recognition, any pin or anything. And it may have got lost in the mail or whatever. What can we do?
So I've been told that through the Rotary Foundation is they're not working in the building.
Okay.
And what they told me was that it would be delayed in getting out pins. Now, I don't know, I haven't checked recently what the update on that is, but what I've seen some clubs do in the meantime is someone who may be a Paul Harris +3 goes and gets their old Paul Harris and lets the club borrow it until the new one can come in so that they can still do the presentation and the pin.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Max, could I send you one and you loan this to her until hers comes in?
Sure.
I'll do that.
Thank
Okay.
you very much, Joe.
Jennifer, our club did get some pins in and things. So I don't know. I think that was back in August. So I don't know how we got them, but we got a Paul Harris plus, I think it was +6, and also my major donor award, which I had to request, came in at that time.
Came to my house, Woody. So I'm in Woody's club. I'm the president this year. It actually came to my residence. That's how we got them.
Usually that's what they do.
Yeah, so any of the Paul Harris things coming from the Rotary Foundation, its default setting is to mail it to the club president. And so that's why it's important in DAC-DB to have everybody's address correct. Now, on the form that we send for points transfer and the forms that we send, I hope I'm not confusing you here, but there's a place where you check the box of who's going to receive it, whether it's the club president, the club treasurer. If you don't check that, it goes to the club president.
Correct.
Anything else? I'm writing a note to myself. I'm going to email everybody my file for the foundation. And on Rotary.org, there are PowerPoint presentations and videos about the foundation and about every Rotarian every year, about polio, about all of those things that are out there. I can include those in that file so that you can see them.
That'd be great.
Okay. The other thing I'd like, our club presidents know this, but our foundation chairs may not. On DAC-DB, under the district file, there's things that I've put out there sharing my Google Drive of videos, vignettes, memes, things that I used when I put together our PETS virtual training. And the PETS virtual training is also out there. Lesson number 3, so it's called PETS 3, is all about our district and what our district does through the foundation and what the clubs are doing. And there's some really nice videos about gift of life and water is life. And if you wanted to provide that to your club so that they understand what we do as a district, we really do a lot of things around the world and in our communities.
Could you say again where that's found?
Yes, on DAC-DB. When you go into DAC-DB, under the file tab that says district, there's a thing called district files, one of the icons says district files. And then the link to my Google Drive, because the president-elect training that we did virtually is an hour long for 3 sessions, but all the little vignettes I've saved in a Google Drive so that clubs can just pull what they want and play in their club if they want to.
Okay, thank you.
I've done that for a program already.
Oh, good.
Good, good.
Are you sending a description of how to contribute online?
I can. Online contributions, you would just go to rotary.org and there's a donate button. The thing that I want to make sure that our members do is to create their rotary.org login and password if they don't already have that, because if they were to click on give as guest, then we don't get recognition for that in the district and we can't match points. So it needs to be tied to the member. They need to select the annual fund and use either their member ID number or log into rotary.org, which stores their member ID number. And then that ties that gift to our district, and our district can then match points for that gift.
Jennifer, is that the same place that we can then, you were showing in the beginning and I really didn't follow it. If we wanted to request people to donate on behalf of an event or something, like I have a birthday coming up. So I was gonna do that during, Foundation Month, ask people to contribute to the foundation.
Well, I have not investigated that Raise for Rotary thing. I just found it this week. Didn't know anything about it. And I talked with Salim and he hadn't heard about it yet. Terry, have you heard about it before? You have? Do you know if people give to that, if they use that, can they select the
Follow
annual
it through,
fund?
but I saw it come out in a newsletter from the foundation. All the different RI newsletters one could subscribe to. I'm
okay.
Obvious foundation information and in there.
Okay.
Not obviously that long ago.
All right, I'll go back and look at that again. I must have missed that.
Yeah.
But Melody, I'll look into it because I really don't know. The thing is, yes, you can set that up and it'll give to the Rotary Foundation, but I don't know if it's going to the annual fund and how that might work for recognition and matching points.
Okay.
Jennifer? The simplest way to be to kind of advocate for everybody who has a foundation, is in a club chair, that they forward their donations there and otherwise forward to you if you're in a club, or whomever is the person that handles that responsibility. So you have to funnel less paperwork and it all goes specifically from our district to RI.
So you broke up on me a little bit. Are you saying that
rather than anybody right now, if you're partaking in this Matt's campaign, would we not want everyone to donate through a designated person in their club?
Thank you for bringing that up. That's why I'm doing this with the foundation chairs. I want them to get this information out to their clubs. Their clubs are to give their information to their foundation chair. The foundation chair can send the checks off to the Rotary Foundation with their report. And I want a copy of just the multiple donor form so that I can match points. You don't have to separate out your major donors or the people that only gave $5. I can do that. I just want a copy. I want to make it as easy on my foundation chairs as possible. If you want to scan and email that to me, or if you want to stick it in the mail to me, that's fine. I just need a copy of the multiple donor form so I can match the points.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up, Terry.
Sure.
Everybody clear as mud?
Okay. Jennifer, I've got a couple of parting shots.
Uh-huh.
And the first is, we also have a District 6560 foundation. And if a club wants to donate to the foundation of the district, an individual who makes that contribution, this is a tax deductible contribution that can be aligned to a certain project. So if I want to give from my Rotary Club of Rockville $5,000 to go build a snowman somewhere, that money is tax deductible going into the district foundation. And then it is controlled back whenever it wants to be used. Some of these funds haven't been touched for several years, but it's a conduit for clubs to give. And one of the big mechanisms is Greenfield's Gift of Life. For years, they put money in there that were donations from business, from outside Rotary that were tax exempt for those donors. And they put it into the district foundation so that they could be used for a specific project. This is a separate entity from what we're talking about with our annual fund or our World Fund. These are district monies into what's the district foundation. What we're talking about today with the annual fund, hopefully, are monies that we can use for our district designated grants that we're really proud of. This last year that we had $114,000 donated back to 27 grants from 20 different clubs. It was an amazing achievement, an amazing turnaround to get that done in the 1st of July. Also in November, on the 21st, we will be having a mid-year foundation meeting, which will be grants training for the 2021 year. This will be virtually. We had talked earlier about possibly doing it in person, but it will be 100% virtual. And we'll be getting that agenda out to you in the next week, so you know the timing and when we could get on together and go through the grant training so that your club is eligible next year and next spring to apply for some of these annual fund district designated grants. Great, thank you.
Governor must have gotten his sound fixed since last Tuesday.
Well, he's actually got better internet when he comes downtown Indianapolis than when he's out in the sticks of Danville.
Thanks.
I love all those smiley face pillows you got, Max.
So the grandkids.
Neat.
Nice.
Neat.
Well, that's really all I have today. And I just wanted to give an opportunity for us to get together. And I'm just curious, is this helpful to you as a foundation chair or a president to just hop on a call and hop off as opposed to 100 emails you have to go through?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
And I like seeing all your faces.
Vice versa.
And we don't have to get in a car and drive somewhere to go to a meeting.
That's
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate everyone's time, sincerely. And if there's anything I can do or Jennifer can do, please let us help.
Thank you.
Hi, Pam. I didn't see you earlier.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you. And I'm so glad to hear the top end of the match is 5,000. I had heard that it was 500. So that'll help.
Well, and that's why I wanted to get on this call really quick before November started on Sunday, because it didn't seem to me like it was very clear when we talked with the club presidents on Tuesday. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure it was very crystal clear for everybody.
That's good. I'm glad.
All right.
Take
Okay.
care.
Thanks,
I gotta run.
everybody.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer.
We'll see you soon.